Well, we only did it on the TV show.
Shelter from the storm.
Shelter. I don't know who that man is. How about a hand for the superlatives? I talked about the first two records I ever had in my life was with Johnny Cash and Flatt and Scruggs. And it was strange how life worked out. Me and Connie actually wound up living next door to Johnny Cash and June Carter in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And I got to be honest with you, I miss him every single day of my life. I miss going over having a cup of coffee and he's talking about things. I went to work with him in Des Moines, so thank you, Iowa, when I was in his band. And here's the deal, after he passed away, you know, every songwriter in the world tried to write a song about him. And I did the same thing. Tried to write a song about him to make me feel better, but it never would come. So I just kind of forgot about it and left it alone. But between our houses, there's a pretty piece of land. And in the 60s, Roy Orbison had a house there. But one night a tragic affair happened there. Two of his boys were playing with hairspray and cigarette lighter. And they caught the house on fire, burned the house down, and took the boy's life. So Roy never wanted to rebuild or live there, of course. So he sold that piece of property to John for $1. And John shook Roy's hand and made him a promise that he'd never build anything on that piece of ground, but he would just plant things in remembrance to the boys, to give life back to the earth. And so what he did, he planted fruit trees in their honor. You know, he planted pecan tree, apple tree, fig tree, pear tree, cherry trees. It became a beautiful sanctuary. And after John passed away, me and Connie bought that place from John Carter and made him the same deal, that as long as we live, there will never be anything built on that ground. Some pieces of earth ought to just be left alone. And that's one of them, you know? Yeah! Yeah, go ahead. But here's the story. In the springtime, when all the blossoms start coming, you know what happens? I get a visit from the crows. And I don't know about y'all, but I dearly love crows because they are weird birds and they dress like Johnny Cash. Makes them all right. So one day I was over in the orchard the spring after he passed away, and I saw this crow hanging around the trees. Just raising King, and it reminded me of John. And so the next morning I got up and the song finally fell down from heaven. So how about we do a song, since I got the job an eye away for old John, how about we do a song for old John tonight? All right? And country music, again, is 3 chords and the truth, and that's about what this song is. It's called Dark Bird. On a cool September morning in the fall of 203, a crier from Jerusalem brought the news to me. His words were sharp and dreaded, and they made a lonesome sound. They snapped my heart in two like a stick stepped on the ground. Well, I cried and cried and cried, but the cutting of the pain. Then I quietly said goodbye, so long in Jesus' name. Dark bird, watch you fly, dark bird to another sky. And I'll bet you were a sight when you hit that cloud of love and flew out the other side in the form of a dove. Dark bird, dark bird. "6'1" and a box of steel and a pretty coat of black." Well, I watched the world watch themselves watch your final act, and I couldn't help but notice when we laid you in the earth. A train went by, headed north, for whatever it is worth. Your voice echoes in the wind, it rumbles through the trees. guess it's time to leave. Dark bird, watch you fly. Dark bird to another sky. And I'll bet you were a sight when you hit that cloud of love and flew out the other side. In the form of a dove. Dark bird, dark bird, dark bird.